So I just left the dentist office. I got a cleaning, and yeah, everything's good except I had a little bit of like a filling, kind of chip off a little bit in a lower tooth. So I got to go get that fixed. But after the last, like a year ago, I went through this year-long process of getting an implant. Uh, although just from eating caramels. Don't eat caramels. Don't eat caramels if you have teeth work. Just don't do it. I ended up breaking a tooth, and then I lost the tooth, and oh my goodness, they could have capped it, but I ate this darn caramel, and it broke the tooth off, and then I ended up having to get an implant. So that was a whole process. So getting a little cavity filled, I'm like, oh, this is fine. And it's not a new cavity, so that's good. Most of the cavities I had and all the work I had done were, from growing up, they were older cavities. I think I haven't really gotten a new cavity in years, and I don't know if it's because I'm older and my diet's changed or what that's about. It's kind of interesting though. But so the other kind of fun thing is I was sitting there in the dentist office, and I couldn't see who it was. It was another patient that walked in. He was a senior. I mean, I'm 60, so like he said, he said I'm a senior, and I don't know how old he was, but I'm guessing he was, from what he was saying and the years and things, because he was talking to the hygienist and stuff that was cleaning his teeth. I could hear him talking about his life history, and he was born in Switzerland. His mom was from Switzerland, spoke 5 languages, and he was talking about just the timeline and the years. I'm guessing he was around 70 or so, but he was saying how he was a surfer. He surfed all his life, and he said, yeah, I surfed all my life, and I'm in good shape. I never broke a bone, and he said it really kept me young. And then he said, but I didn't get into any fights. He said, I was out there surfing at 35 with 18-year-olds, and the way I survived is I didn't get into fights. Because once you get your nose broke or this or that, it was kind of interesting to hear him talk about all of this, because he was saying a lot of his friends would get into fights in their 20s and 30s. And, I'm picturing the surfer dude, like a surfer dude, Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I have no idea what he looked like, but it was just so fun to listen to his story. And I thought to myself, well, I'd love to go peek in there and talk to him, but I figured that would be inappropriate, so I did not. But I did now here's the third thing I wanted to share, and then we're going to call this a vlog. So I was at the gym the other day, and in the e-gym, like any of these kind of circuit training, kind of where you go on the machines are numbered, and you're supposed to start with machine number 1, and then you switch to machine number 2, and then 3, and everybody switches at the same time. It's timed perfectly. So every now and then I've noticed these people, they come in and they'll start. So John was on machine 1, I was on machine 2, because I'd already started with machine 1. I'd switched to machine 2, like chest presses and shoulder presses and all these different exercises. I was on machine 2, and this cute little gal comes right in front of me and plops down on machine number 3, right as I was supposed to switch to 3. And I bit my tongue. I bit my tongue hard. And I just skipped her, and I went over to machine 4, and I thought when she's done with 3, I'll switch back to 4. And then John would switch to, because he was going to be on, I was on 2, he was going to be on 2, he was going to need 3, and I was going to need 3, so we were going to have to figure that out. But so she stayed there, and then so we all did our circuit training on that. We were all on our machines. Then when it was over, she didn't move, and then John came up on the number 2, and he's like, it's my turn on here. And she's like, well, no, I like to do this twice. Well, I am normally pretty, like I can be understanding, but the rules are the rules. And I let her know. I said, no. I said, you're supposed to start with 1. And if you want to start and jump on another machine, then don't jump on one where there's somebody right there who's going to need that machine next. You need to make sure you have a couple machines between you and that next person. I let her have it. And she left, and she did come back later, but I'm like, I'm becoming that woman. I'm kind of proud of myself because I'm standing up for myself. But it really did, it just, and I know some of the women in there and the guys too, I've talked to them. It is frustrating for us when people are not, you know, not following the rules that the rest of us we're supposed to, and there's signs if you're supposed to know this, and it's like totally, they're just not considerate, and I know, when you're 20 and 30 and you're like building muscle, and then you see these 60, 70 and 80-year-old people, maybe they don't think it's that important to us, but it is. So all right, little gal, move out of the way, and you go back and get on machine one, or you get on a machine that's, leave some space between you and that other person. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how we change, and I'm definitely noticing this type of stuff going on with me, and I like talking about it because I know I'm not the only one, and I'm finding my voice. Like I always say, I'm finding my voice. I'm trying to be authentic, and I'm a very nice, tolerant person, but there's just certain things, like I still think we need common sense, and we need to, we can't be rude and so selfish that we disregard somebody else so we can get our workout in. I don't know. It bugged me. Even talking about it, it still bugs me. I got triggered, and but she did leave and didn't have that problem with her again. But I'll keep you posted. So, all right. Well, that's going to be my vlog today. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and let's keep on keeping on.